We are under weekend lockdown here in Karnataka, so it's been a day of self-reflection and no distractions. And it struck me that we have only 6 more days to our 30-day journey, and I'm a little bit for panic mode, if I can say this, because there's just so much I want to express. So I'm doing my level best, and I will always be here, and we'll be in each other's lives beyond 30 days. So that makes me feel good. uh, we're going to go back to what some of you have inboxed me. So thank you for that and bringing me back to discussing healthy personal boundaries in close relationships, people you can't dump. Let me give you some examples of poor boundaries. Spouses with whom you feel as if you're on a roller coaster. When things are good, they're great. When things are bad, they are a disaster. And you hear in spouses someone saying you can't go out with your friends because I get jealous and insecure, and then you go and tell your girlfriends or your boyfriend, or office mates, sorry guys, can't come out with you tonight because my wife or husband gets upset. Or a mom saying I get so sad and lonely when you children don't visit me, now you're supposed to take care of me. And you turn around to your boss and said, look, I would have loved to take the job in Tokyo, but my mother would never forgive me for moving away so far. So, family guilt, manipulation, and let's see who else is tearing you down because you have weak boundaries. Those people around you who take advantage of your emotions for their own gain, or you're having to save and fix their problems all the time. Now, I have a brother like that, and I know what that means. Then there are those who suck you into pointless debate, and you're having to defend yourself all the time, even when you believe you're not at fault. So, if you're wondering what are personal boundaries, what do they look like? Now, healthy personal boundaries means taking responsibility for your own actions and emotions and not of others. So, I want you to think, who are you? Are you the one who takes too much responsibility of others' emotions, or are you expecting others to take care of your emotions and actions? So you decide. Now, how are you going to create stronger boundaries if you have manipulators and demanders around you? Number one, I would say, is build a high self esteem of yourself. You are so complete in yourself. Second, build a very strong, solid identity. Now, an identity is something you do and not who you are. Does that make sense? It's something you do and not who you are. Yes, it makes sense. Now, if you have a codependent around you who's seeking your obsessive love and attention, teach them otherwise, or you will have to lay down your boundaries with them. Now, giving, my dear friends, is great, but don't give with ulterior motives, because when it's self-serving, then it's just an empty and worthless emotion, just like being in a codependent relationship. Now, I want you to hear this very, very carefully. If you have grown with one of your parents in a relationship where one parent came from neediness and the other one was always giving because of low esteem and weak boundaries, watch out, because you could be imbibing some characteristics in your relationships, because victims and savers both have an emotional high. And I know that some of you will argue with me and say, hey, Minku, but sometimes you have to make sacrifices for the people you love. And I give you that. Most of us are empathetic, compassionate, so give. I'm not saying don't give. Give because you want to, not out of obligation, not fears of consequences, not because you got manipulated. It's obviously unreasonable to expect two people to accommodate each other and fulfill 100% of time the wishes of each other. Hurt is natural. But what I'm going to say is, end of the day, each one must take responsibility to determine how we feel. That's your responsibility. And I end with this beautiful saying that I really believe in. It says that in letting go of the need to control is a path to growing beautifully together. So, my dear friends, stay safe, and I'll be back with a topic, your personal genie and the magic you can create. Stay blessed.